I love empanadas and I love Italian subs, and so I thought, why not combine the two? My name is Paul Harrison, and today we're gonna be making some Italian sub empanadas. We're gonna be making some empanada dough. We have 3 cups of flour, a half a cup of fresh oregano. We have a teaspoon of baking powder. Gonna sprinkle in some salt and a little black pepper. I'm gonna put a bunch of butter in there, and there's no yeast at all. We get a little water in there, and then we just let this go for a little bit. You can just mix this with your hands. It just takes a little bit longer. Wrap it up and just let it sit at room temperature for about an hour. Now we're gonna make our filling. This is the part that is the Italian sub. We have 4 meats here, and you'll find when you go to different places, they all have their own version of an Italian sub, but there's usually a few things that are similar. So the first thing we have here is some mortadella. It's basically adult bologna. We have some hot capicola here. Next, we have our hot soppressata. You can get regular soppressata. You can do some regular salami. And then the last thing here is pepperoni, because it's classic. So first we're gonna take our meats, that's our base. We're just gonna slide this all in there. It's a 1/4 pound of each, so that means we got a full pound of meat in here. We got a 1/2 pound of cheese, the onions, pepperoncinis, roasted red peppers. But there's something about those roasted peppers in a jar floating in olive oil. Just has that feel of the Italian sub from the deli. So this is about 4 cups of arugula, some Italian dressing. This is mostly for the arugula, because these meats are salty as it is. Get a little black pepper in here. And my hands are clean, so I'm just gonna go for it. I have no Italian blood whatsoever, but I do have a small Italian grandmother living inside of me that operates me with a joystick. So now we set this aside. It's time to roll out some dough. You can see it's a little greasy looking now because of the butter. It's had time to sort of melt and distribute itself a little better. And we're just gonna start popping it off into little balls. Best thing to do here is get another piece of parchment paper, lay it on top, get your rolling pin. This is actually perfect. You want it to be nice and thin little pancake. We're gonna start filling these up, then we're gonna seal them up, and then we're gonna bake them. Make sure you get all the good stuff when you're scooping. So you just want a little mound on each one. You don't want to overfill them. When we do the egg wash, so you kind of want to go in a semicircle from where it looks like it's best to fold. So we don't need much, just a little bit. Just gonna roll this over here. Press the edges together. Make sure your filling is staying here in the middle. You don't want it poking its head out. And then we're just gonna sort of roll this edge here. And that's what it's gonna look like. Mine are not always pretty, they're just delicious. I'm gonna do the egg wash first. While these are still nice and wet, I'm gonna sprinkle some of these sesame seeds on top. Not a lot, just a little bit. We just have to poke a couple holes in the top to make sure they don't explode. You gotta have a place for the steam to go. Now we're gonna pop them in the oven. We've got it preheated to 375. We're gonna cook them for about 15 minutes or until they're nice and brown on top. That's it, all right. All right, nice and brown on top. These are great with any aperitif. Have a Negroni, nice light beer, any kind of wine. And there you have it. That is our Italian sub empanada. And take a little bit of this marinara sauce right here. Get it in there. I feel like I'm eating an Italian sub, except that it's nice and hot. You got the crispy, buttery crust. You can't go wrong right here.